For me, as a child, I couldn't figure out why somebody would put a word into the mountain. I was absolutely captivated. EIRE, Ireland, home.
A welcome, perhaps, a symbol, or a relic from darker times. It's a part of our history. In 1939, when war erupted again in Europe, Ireland remained neutral, but they still had to be ready.
The Irish Free Staters received the usual advance warning from Germany, and the armed forces of Southern Ireland are on guard day and night. We have seen again and again that when Hitler intends to attack a neutral, he first makes accusations.
A chain of 83 lookout posts all around the coast of Ireland was established in 1939.
These EIRE signs are really important to modern Irish history, and a visible sign on the landscape of a conflict that Ireland was involved in 80 years ago. They're unique. I haven't come across in any other country in the world. We were able to build these signs to show to the much more low-flying aircraft of the day that they were over Irish territory. So it was a very simple way of doing a complicated job, which was advising belligerent aircraft that they were in a place that was not part of the war zone. By the middle of 1943, the Allies were preparing the build-up for D-Day, the invasion of Hitler's occupied Europe. There was a massive aerial, air bridge of aircraft coming across the Atlantic. They were flying low, and coming in, they often crashed into mountains along the west coast of Ireland. And at the suggestion of the American ambassador in Dublin, David Gray, these signs were built along the Irish coastline as neutrality markers. The local soldiers, men of the coast watching service, were tasked with building these signs. Built to a standard template, the letters EIRE, surrounded by a border. Later in the war, the signs were augmented with the addition of a number. The signs, there were 83 of them around the coast. If you number them, they become waypoints. They become a navigational aid, so if they got lost on their European landfall coming across the Atlantic, they could look down, they'd see a sign, they'd see the number, and they could navigate to an airport of their choice. The Coast Watchers were a special branch of the Defence Force. It was expected Ireland would be invaded either by Britain or by Germany, possibly by air, but almost definitely by sea. As the chance of an invasion lessened after the war turned east into Russia in 1941, the job of the Coast Watchers became more intelligence gathering. So the job of the Coast Watchers here on Howth was to look out over the Irish Sea. They'd record Irish vessels coming into Dublin port. They'd also see the solitary Aer Lingus flights going out to either Liverpool or Manchester, our lifeline during the war by air to Britain. And the Aer Lingus aircraft of the time, small DC-3 aircraft, and they were painted in camouflage colours to make them slightly more invisible, if you like. The Irish Sea was a very strategically valuable location for Britain and also for Germany. It was an area that U-boats were likely to be operational in. The EIRE signs, they're explicitly described as neutrality markers. They're part of the Defence Force's infrastructure defending the coast of Ireland during the Second World War. By 1945, they've done their job. Ireland was not invaded. And so they fade into the landscape. And what they've become now is very important heritage sites. The sign here at Howth Head is a visible reminder to those of us who didn't live through the Second World War of the trials and the struggles of that generation who brought independent Ireland into existence. Ireland would remain neutral until it was invaded. That's what the emergency is all about.
We must remember that in 1939, it's totally unclear what was going to happen. When Germany invaded Poland, many countries tried to remain neutral, like Ireland did. The government called up people to volunteer to defend the country. In this local area, people came together. There were people in the army and others joined the coast watching service. People who were passionate about defending the country. We think of Corporal Rourke. He had been involved in the local EIRE during the War of Independence, and later he was a great unifier of the community. So there were 7 men. These men rotated 24/7 in the lookout post at the summit. They all had kind of Republican backgrounds, ordinary local men who were fishermen or labourers. They set up firstly down actually on the nose of Howth near the harbour, but very quickly they spotted out what the optimal position was. First of all, the lookout post, which would have been looking straight over Dublin Bay to Dalkey, commanded the whole view of the approaches to Dublin. They were built very hurriedly to build up prefabricated huts. Whole East Mountain became a military installation. There was a detachment of the regular army who had an anti-aircraft gun up at the summit and a searchlight, and a telephone connection to army headquarters. This was a busy place during the war. It's amazing when you read the logbooks from the lookout post. There's descriptions every day of activity out at sea, and sometimes explosions and planes that were flying very near the coast. In 1941, 2 German bombers strayed over Dublin and just abandoned their bombs. Those bombs landed on North Strand in Dublin and caused horrendous damage. So it was a very dangerous time. Armies work on intelligence. Slightest bit of intelligence, that's how you form a picture of what's actually happening. So during the day and the night, the men would every hour or every time they saw something, they would record it as to the sea. Britain was a world power at that time. And the British didn't really trust what Ireland would do, although the Irish government undertook that Ireland would never join a hostile alliance against Britain. And so the army was in a weak state. They called for volunteers, and they got a huge number of people came forward.
As the war ended, the EIRE 6 sign faded away, disappearing into the heather and gorse to be forgotten.
This all came together with a group of people who were very passionate about the idea of restoring the EIRE 6 sign. There was actually 17 people from the community, and a dedicated 7 came out of it that were prepared to put in a bit of graft. There was definitely an interest to do it, so it was more stop talking now and let's get on with it. There was a fire in 1981. A little bit of the E was revealed. Jim Kilroy was out riding a day or 2 later, and he recognised what he already knew was here. So we started the process by appealing to the community. We were really astonished with the response. Everybody would love to have seen it come back to light. It is magnificent. It was a project that people could feel a great pride in their community and work together. But I think also looking at the future and what's coming about naturally is families are walking down to the education board here behind me, and they're talking about it. It's important to think that it will be around in 50 or 100 years, so that our present will now become our history, and it's here for everybody. And also to send the message that our heathland is important and our environment's important. Our native flora and fauna return after year 2 of the restoration, and I suppose to keep putting the message out to really protect our heathland.
The meticulous attention to detail ensured the sign was faithfully restored to its original specifications, while preserving the surrounding fragile heathland.
Once I'd seen the interest from what those guys had completed in Dalkey, I thought we could do it over here. I knew the history and I knew it was there, and that was kind of the flair was, but I knew that sign was there. The LOP, the lookout post, was somewhere where we kind of hung out when we were a little bit older. I'm very much interested in the heritage of Howth. The significance that they had in history is really important to Ireland, and especially Howth. The family members that had built it are all local people, and because where I work and my involvement down here on the harbour, it kind of resonates. Once I had told people who I work with down here that I'm involved in this, all the branches of history just fizzled its way through, and it was amazing. We had quite specific guidelines that we had to follow, but it was important to the group that we kept it authentic. When we pulled it out, you could see it straight away. The lines and everything, it made it a little bit easier for us, but then pulling them up and cutting into to the letters, it was tough work, it was. Brilliant job from everybody, you know, not just us in the group. It brought a lot of people together in a time when we kind of needed a little bit of togetherness. It took 2 years. When you're looking at it now and watching the growth of what it was and what it is now, it's just flourished and it's grown and it's revived itself. It looks beautiful.
For one of the volunteers, it was much more personal.
To be honest with you, there's been lots of conversations around kitchens tables and a glass of wine for the last 20 years of let's do the EIRE 6, and Lara came home from America gung ho, and we've been working on it ever since. I've always known it was here. I have a very personal connection. My grandfather, Sean Rourke, Darky Rourke as he was known, was the corporal in the lookout tower, so he would have laid the stones here. So it really is, you know, and when we're digging it back, I'm hoping I might find something that he left for me. It's very personal, and I live here on the East Mountain, so the East Mountain and this whole area is very important to me. Just to think that you know, my grandfather was here doing it in all the wild weather, probably like today, the wind blowing and lifting all those big heavy stones. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's very emotional. You know, when we're here working away, the amount of people that stop and talk to us, in fact, we get very little work done. People who've been in Howth all their life and never knew it was here. So it's really good. My son's been here helping me, Louis, and he promises me that he's going to keep it up when I'm not here. I wonder what he would be thinking. Would he be looking down going, oh, those bloody Egypts, what are they doing, you know? We had to do it. Why? What are you doing? So, yeah, hopefully he's watching.
Finally, on the 9th of April 2022, President of Ireland Michael D. Higgins and Mrs. Sabina Higgins launched the restored EIRE 6 sign and memorial.
I'm going to serve as your mistress of ceremonies for what I'm sure you'll agree is a really, really special moment for our community, with the President of Ireland due to arrive shortly. As the President, and indeed all of us, will shortly hear from Dr. Michael Kennedy, in the recovery and restoration of the Howth EIRE sign, an outstanding national artefact has been saved. But there's also been an outstanding effort here to ensure that the men who created and manned this sign, part of a generation of Irish men and women who defended our island, were not forgotten. We find the living descendants of the last two of our original coast watchers. And what we want to say to the families is that today is your day, and you're all so welcome back to the East Mountain. And our thanks to Rowan Horgan at Capital Flow for the support of the beautiful we'll receive. I call next on Nicky McLaughlin, representing the family of Tom McLaughlin.
At last, an opportunity to honour the men and their families with commemorative certificates and coins by Army Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Sean Clancy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, we're truly honoured, President Michael D. Higgins, that you've been chosen to be with us today, and we invite you to address us.
Sabina and I are absolutely delighted to be here today with you all in the beautiful surroundings of the Howth Peninsula. May I pay tribute to the EIRE 6 Restoration Group. I so congratulate all of these groups for cooperating so effectively and with such good results on what was a wonderful heritage project. But even before the installation of the sign, political neutrality was being given expression by the local volunteers of the Coast Watching Service, who manned the nearby lookout post from 1939 to 1945, and then installed the EIRE 6 sign in 1943. We commemorate today, then, all those who played an integral part in defending Irish neutrality during World War II through their role in guarding the coastline. It was unthinkable to many that Europe could find itself once again embroiled in war in the 21st century. I think there is a special role for peoples and countries who embrace neutrality to be active in making the case for diplomacy to the very end. I so congratulate the group, and I wish them every success in any other project in heritage and in the promotion of peace in which they are involved. Mehel Corhe EIRE She Venadar Ganairillion.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you just look to the sky at Sky Short.
Howth, such a magnificent, beautiful place, and to have like a little bit of history there as a symbol of home, I just thought was, captivated me. We would gently welcome in younger members onto the committee, definitely, especially if they have an interest in history or just an interest in keeping Howth beautiful. Gently roll them in and get them on board, and keep the group strong, and keep the maintenance programme and education programme, or there are two wings, keep them as strong as we can.